Welcome back to the belted Galloway Homestead. It's a little windy out here today, so hopefully you're not hearing that in my mic. I did a short a while back showing that I got some used Grouser tracks for my skid steer, bar tracks. And it looked like I was one link short. But a person told me to look at the adjustment in the tracks, which I assumed they were already adjusted out as long as they are. But upon further review, I've got quite a bit of adjustment in here. I think every one of these can give me 1.5 inches if I go from the inside hole to the outside hole on those dog bones. I'm talking about like right here, the difference between here and there. I was thinking 1 inch, but I think I read somewhere where it's 1.5 inches. Now, one thing I did see, and let me see if I can find one here. So, see there, that's all the way out as far as possible. That's all the way out. So no adjustment. Here's one. Now the instructions tell you not to do this. It makes the joint too tight or something. I'll throw a snapshot up there of the instructions. They give you an A, a B, and a C. And this is a C, and they say that's a no-no by putting it here in the short and here in the short. And you should only do one or the other. So I can adjust both of those out or one out. So far I've got, say, 1, 2, 3. Here's 3, 4. Here's another no-no. 5, 6. Another one. 7, 8. Another one. 9, 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. So I've got 14 spaces that I can move here. And that will definitely give me over a link that I'm going to need. So I'm going to make that adjustment and get these things put on. My other concern is, are these things worn out more than I realized when I bought them? I got a real good deal on them. And there might be a reason why I got a good deal on them. So my concern is right here. Let me pick that up. They're worn here in the center. So if I pick this link up on the end, you can see that wear there. So they got an inner ridge that I would think would ride on the tire. And the skid steer just come off of, the tires were more round in the center and not like flat all the way across. I thought was kind of odd. So I've got some meat out here. But if someone knows, please let me know in the comments. Give me some feedback if you think these are too wore. I'll find out when I get these on, and if I get in some mud or some water and they start slipping, then I'll know if these are worn out. I've never seen the tracks that were wore out, and I can't find any information that says that they're wore out or if they've gotten to a certain condition. And then the other question I've got, are these cast steel or are these cast iron? I'm kind of hoping they're cast steel. So if someone out there knows, again, please leave me your feedback, your comment down there, if they're cast steel or cast iron. I'm thinking if they're cast steel, I could just take them off this winter and make a winter project out of it, and I can just build that up. It'd be very easy to build that up, but I don't see any information on that. So if someone's done that or have any info on that, please let me know. And I think you can also do cast iron, but it'd be harder, and I got to get a special rod for that, I believe. I'd have to check into that more if I need to. But I'm going to get my impact wrench out here and start working on this and getting this extended and kind of making a judgment of how many of those links I need to move. I'll definitely do the ones that that are too tight and get those moved out. So let me get working on that. So a link, 7 inches. So I'm going to adjust 7 of these and then throw them on the skid steer and see what they look like. That looks like the first no-no you're supposed to do here. So that'll give me 2. Wow. That one came easy. Wow. Well, to give me look like a wrench on that one. See what I can do. There we go. Yeah, bolts can get pretty gnarled up there. But I did get some spare parts with the purchase of the tracks. Well, the old bushings aren't completely gone, but you can see they got a nice wear on one side. So I'll hang on to those. I've got new ones. I'll throw them in and use them up as I go. Little alignment tool there. Hopefully that'll help. I do have to say I'm kind of surprised how I wouldn't say difficult, but just how tight these bolts and stuff are. I thought this thing being used, I guess maybe it's tight in here where it's not moving, where it's taking all the wear, but I thought these things would just fall apart because they're so loose, but I'm surprised by that. All right. Well, that's one. I'm sure I'll learn as I go. And the puppy's always trying to help, aren't you? Yeah. Not the lightest things. Base looks good though. I think I'm supposed to have 1.5 inches. I need to double check that. Pull up your slack. So I'm very close. And the way I got this strap hooked up isn't working. It's working here, and I notice I'm on the first bar of a cleat. Here I'm on the second bar of a cleat, and it's causing me to get jacked up here. I'm not able to, I'm having to fight it. But very close. Much closer than I was. So I'm going to rearrange this strap. See if I can either grab back further or grab up here closer. Ideally, it'd be great underneath, but then the handle will get pinched right there. I don't know if I could turn it upside down and go that way, maybe upside down. I could give that a try. Reach underneath there. That might work. Lift me up as it's cranking. Let me get that back rearranged, and I'll be back with you. All right. I did move the strap to the bottom. That seems to be working. And I picked the front tires up with the bucket to give me some of that slack. You can see I'm bellying down there even a little bit. I should probably lower that down, or it'll lower over time. But we're getting there. Thinking we might just be a hair tight. But I might button that up there. Put me a spacer in there, put a bolt in there. Let it down and get a measurement. So I think I'll just throw some bolts in here, see how this looks, and then get on this next track tomorrow and do 7 or 8 spaces. Well, I've got all the adjustments done. It is a little windy here right now, so hopefully you're not picking up much of that on the mic. Tracks look good. Let's set the level across here. See what we end up with. Drove it around a little bit to get that worked in. So looking like a little under 2.5. Let's say 2 3/8. Go around here to the other side. And we got about 2 right there. That's what the other side looks like. So things that I discovered was the previous owner didn't have them the same. So when I refer to the inner holes and the outer holes, I noticed that the tracks weren't the same. I didn't have the same number of inner holes for the dog bones. And then the outer holes for the dog bones. So it kind of gets, I even get confused sometimes thinking, oh, inner and outer, but I'm using the shoe here because that's the adjustment. So the inner holes and the outer holes is what I've been referring them to. And there again, as I stated there with graphic C, you don't want to have 2 inner holes placed. And I had some of those and I've corrected them. So I don't have any of the inner holes now, which means across from the dog bone, across there. So you can't have it. This is good, but I couldn't have it in the other adjustment. One thing I noticed, I do have some wear. Can't quite find it now, but I had some places where the metal between the 2 adjustment holes is worn. So I went with the outer position. just seemed to make sense with me to not force the issue on the inner side. Other than that, they look good. I'm going to give them a try. Clearance wise, I look good. So this is the clearance with the boom. Looking good with the 709 backhoe hooks. I got plenty of clearance there. I think I'm all well within the tolerances that they give. Doing good here. So it looks good. Go back here on here to the other side where the sun is. Like I said, it's a little chilly and quite windy. So there's the new bolts. I'll bring one out here and show it to you, so if you ever see them, you know where they're at. I used a little grease marker to mark where I had replaced, so I could go right across there. And I don't think you're ever going to get the identical span or the drag here, because the only thing I could do to tighten this up to get closer to the 2 is to put it, into an inner hole. Then I've got to watch I don't end up with a bad condition. But I'm going to let it run like that while I'm within tolerance. Again, they look good. So I did do a little investigating just to see what the space, because I've always been told you need spacers to space this out. And I don't think I need any. I also found where they say you can take off your tires and rims and flip them, so it's either dish in or dish out, and it gives you a different distance. I don't know if that's actually a fact with these, if that gets you the same distance whether you got them in or out. And then also I know I've got you've got taper there for the nuts, and you've got some other action going on here. So I don't even know if those can be flipped. So if somebody knows if those can, let me know. I don't think I've got to, so I didn't do anything. The tires and the rims are exactly the way they were before I started, so I didn't put any spacers or anything in there. So again, you can see, unless I have a failure, a bolt problem or something, or some bolt breaks or something, I shouldn't have any problems, or if they get really loose. I'll leave a link down where I found these bolts and the wear part bushing in there in the nut. So you buy it as a set, like so, the 3 pieces. I found them on eBay. Hopefully they are the same or similar to what Grouser sells. No, Grouser doesn't sell direct. They have to go through a third party, and they will direct ship to you, but the third party gets paid on there. So, but you got your bushing. I know these are really hard. Hopefully they're the same hardness of what came out of here. They're the same size, dimension-wise. Nuts were a little different. The other nuts had a square punch in there to create the lock nut. These had a round, but I'm sure that can just differ. So nut, probably no big deal. Important here is the wear on this. The bolts. I had bolts that they got really half worn on there. So if somebody over time actually wanted to take the time and the effort, they could take their bolts out, rotate them 180 and stick them back in, and then they'd have a surface that really has no wear on them at all. So that's one thing I noticed with me being trying to save money and being frugal. But they weren't bad. And as far as I know, they're about the same price except for the free shipping. As if I went through a distributor for Grouser. So there they are. Seem to be running pretty good. Kind of sounds like a tank now. Kind of got to squeaking and stuff. But I'm going to try them out and see if I can get some flotation improvement and other improvements. But the wear on the plates, I haven't noticed anything yet. When these get muddy and they get wet, I'll see if I get some slippage on my tires, because I know my tires are probably getting wore also. So again, thanks for watching. I hope this has helped someone that's thinking about getting tracks for their skid steer. Again, I love hearing from you. Give me your comments. Ask some questions. Just say hi. And again, thanks for watching.